when St. Patrick's Day come around, I usually just wear purple and gold. So I call it St. Championship Day.
Yeah, but I tell you though, it is fun when the Celtics fail to win, or when they're like how they're playing bad right now. It's fun to see that, because I love every time I used to go to Boston. Me and Cedric Maxwell would get into about who was better, the Lakers or the Celtics. So we're tied now for championships, 17 apiece, and it looks like the Lakers will win their 18th before the Celtics will win their 18th.
Yes. Oh man, I was just hoping that I stayed alive long enough to see this day. This is that's going to be a beautiful day for me.
That's right.
This is something that the people that know you may understand this right here. Have you ever met Howie Mandel?
No, I never met Howie Mandel. I know if I ever did meet him, I know I can't shake his hand because he doesn't like to shake hands with people. And I'm kind of like the same way. I don't like to shake hands either. And I guess that's the only good thing about this pandemic going on, is no more shaking hands. We could salute each other. We could bow like the Japanese bow. We could wave at each other, head nod. But I always thought, why do we have to shake hands? Because not that I don't like people or don't want to touch people, but that's how you transmit viruses. And in my line of work, I would be at the games. I meet so many great fans. And everybody wants to shake your hand. And I swear I used to get like 3 colds a season, from shaking hands. So, and that's why I always have my Purell and stuff. And I was way ahead of the hand sanitizer before everybody started doing it when COVID hit. I was doing this for years, trying to stay healthy.
And you and Max Kellerman, you and Max used to go back and forth with that too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Talking about that. Say, man, I ain't shaking nobody's hands. Say, what's the matter? You don't like people? So that's not it. I just don't want to get sick.
You're a big boxing fan too.
Oh, am I a big boxing fan? Listen, man, I love boxing, but I hate boxing. I can't stand boxing. You know why? These idiots in boxing. I hope they don't come looking for me.
Tell them. I have a big boxing platform. Tell them.
If these fighters today could fight as well as they could talk, we'd have some great fights. You know how sick I am about hearing about, for instance, I need to have like a conference and bring all the boxers together and just sit them down and sit and educate them on economics. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, why haven't they fought yet? If Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran and Wilfred Benitez and all those great welterweights were fighting today, they wouldn't fight each other. They'd all be talking about, well, this guy is with the wrong promoter, this and that. What is wrong with the lightweight division right now? You got 4 guys at top. They need to fight each other. But all they do is talk about fighting each other. It drives me crazy. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. These guys making $100 million apiece and they haven't fought yet. A rematch, you get another $100 million. You haven't fought yet. And if you're Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, or if you're Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney, why are you fighting this guy over here for $2 million instead of fighting each other and make $15 million? You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather is right. He's the greatest ever because he understood business. He understood how to say, okay, if I'm going to box, I'm going to generate and make sure I make the most money. If I'm going to get punched in the face, at least I'm going to get $40 million for it as opposed to $4 million. I don't understand these fighters, how they think today, guys. Why would I fight you for $5 million and I can go fight this guy for $20 million? Well, and then you worry about these stupid belts. Who cares about any stinking belts? Give them the belt. We're boxing fans. We don't care about no belt. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua could give away all their belts today. I wouldn't care. I still want to see the fight. I still would pay $150 to watch it. So would millions of other boxers too, boxing fans too. And then the other thing is these fighters worry about their O. Who cares about your zero? Oscar De La Hoya, Muhammad Ali, you can name Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. They all lost, but they're still great fighters because they took the chance to fight somebody else great. And if they lose, you don't lose any marketability. You don't lose the ability to make more money. And if you do lose, have a rematch because we want to see the fight again. And we respect you because you're challenging yourself to fight the best. I don't understand these fighters today. They don't understand. Why am I going to fight you for $1 million if I can fight over here for $10 million? Well, the promoter, tell a promoter, bleep this and go make the fight. He works for you. You don't work for the promoter. That's why Canelo Alvarez is smart. He finally figured it out. Says, why am I letting Oscar De La Hoya tell me who to fight or pay me? I could do it myself. Now Canelo Alvarez is like Floyd Mayweather. He's his own boss. Smart. These other fighters need to start thinking this way too. It's frustrating, man. Like in the UFC, all the tough UFC fighters fight each other, and a lot of the guys in the UFC have 5 or 6 losses, but people still want to see them fight because they're fighting each other. It's frustrating.
Preach, Mike. Preach.
Oh, that's frustrating. I don't understand it. I wish I was the boxing commissioner, like how Adam Silver is the commissioner of basketball, and I would order all these guys to fight each other and stop making excuses. And if you lose, no one's going to lose respect for you. Anything you're going to admire you if it's a great fight and you lose, and you want to see it again, and you'll make another $20 million. Think about it. If you're Errol Spence, who probably makes $3 million a fight, he'll have to fight 10 times to make $30 million, as opposed to fighting Terrence Crawford once and making $30 million. Does that make any sense? Oh, it's frustrating.
Man, we've been fighting this battle, man.
Yeah.
I tell them all.
It's just simple economics. And if Crawford and Spence fight, you know it's going to be a great fight. And you want to see a second fight. And now you make more money. And if you want to retire at 32, you can afford to do it because now you just put $50 million in the bank. Oh, I don't get it.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're going viral.
You push the wrong button when it comes to boxing. I mean, me and Max Kellerman argue like this all the time, and Max agrees with me. How these boxers let these promoters stop them from making tens of millions of dollars.
Right.
It's weird.
Right. We couldn't agree with you more, man. The chat is going crazy, Mychal. Man, the chat is going crazy. I mean, I couldn't.
Are they agreeing with me?
Oh, very much. Oh man, we are in anguish over here.
Yeah.
Anguish, like just fight, like today. Teofimo signed with Thriller.
Thriller,
yeah. That was.
He's gonna make like $4 million to fight this Cambosis guy. But Teo, we don't care about them stupid belts. Like who was it? Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder was gonna sue Fury and stop him from fighting Joshua next because. You know, if I was Tyson Fury, I'd say, here, man, this is a WBC belt. I'll FedEx it to you. You can have the belt. I'm not going to fight you, Deontay Wilder, and make $30 million when I can fight Anthony Joshua twice and make $300 million. Here, have the belt. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's what we want. Just the best fighting the best, man.
That's it. Yeah.
Man.
And there's no shame in losing against a great opponent because Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier. And was still considered the greatest. Who is it? Sugar Ray Robinson. You know how many losses Sugar Ray Robinson has on his record?
17? Was it?
Something like that. 14 losses. And he's considered the greatest fighter in history. Yeah. But he's got 14 losses. These young fighters need to hear that.
Yeah, and speaking of Muhammad Ali, he drove to go get Joe Louis to make the fight.
You mean Joe Frazier?
Joe Frazier, yeah, thank you. Yeah. I mean,
right. They talked about it one-on-one, man-to-man. So, yeah, we got to fight each other, you know, and because fighters back in that era, they challenged each other. They wanted to fight each other. Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, we got to fight each other. So they chased each other. Today, these fighters, they just talk about it. All a bunch of talk. They should all have talk shows and talk about fighting because they ain't fighting.
I can't imagine what you and Max said when the cameras went off, man.
Oh, man, yeah. All these fighters could beat me up with the two hands tied behind their back, but boy, they need to hear this. They all need to be challenged. Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia is a good fighter. He talks a lot, and I agree with Ryan. He's talking about fighting Tank Davis. He's talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao. But let's stop talking about it and make the fight then. Yeah. And go fight Pacquiao. That's a smart move for young Ryan Garcia. Why fight Devin Haney for $3 million? Fight Manny Pacquiao. You're bigger than Manny. You might lose, but you'll make $50 million. You know, and there's no shame in losing to Manny Pacquiao. I mean, right. Canelo Alvarez, a young Canelo, lost to Floyd Mayweather, and he still makes the most money outside of Tyson Fury and Joshua.
Right.
Yeah. My brother Reggie said, ask you your thoughts on Teofimo outsmarting Bob Arum.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm glad he did. He should have got away from Bob Arum, just like Floyd. Remember Floyd Mayweather got away from Bob Arum.
Right there, 50,000. Oh, yeah. Man. Oh,
Floyd said, man, bleep this. I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm not gonna let you run my. And Floyd was smart to do that, and Teo's smart to do that too. Mm-hmm. And so he's doing the right thing. Guys like Teo should be free agents and just sign one fight deals with each promoter. Don't tie yourself up for years. One fight deals. So, okay, I'll work with Trillo on this fight. Now, who's got $10 million to offer me for the next fight? That's how you do it. That's what Floyd did. Now I'm kind of critical of Floyd now, because now, as you know, Floyd is Tank Davis's promoter, right? So Floyd, okay, if you're Tank Davis's promoter, don't be protecting him. Put him in the ring against Ryan Garcia. Put him in the ring against Teo Lopez. Put him in the ring against Devin Haney. Don't like after Tank beat up little skinny Leo Santa Cruz, they asked Floyd, say Floyd, so who's Tank going to fight next? Floyd's talking about, well, why are we talking about this now? Why does everybody want to know who's going to fight next? Because we're fans. We want to know, is he going to fight like Devin Haney next? The next big challenge. So I hope that Floyd's not going to try to protect Tank and bring him along slowly and not put him in with the best. Come on, Floyd, don't be like that. Put Tank Davis in there right now with one of the best from the lightweight division. I don't want to see him fighting some number 9 lightweight next. No, I want to see Tank in the ring next with either Teo, Haney, or Garcia. Otherwise, I think Floyd is hiding him. That's the only thing I can think of.
And they will hide. Floyd is gonna hide Tank. Oscar's gonna hide Ryan, and Teofimo Lopez is gonna probably finagle his way, try and find a loophole or something like that. These guys won't fight each other, man.
I know. It's like they're scared. They're either scared to challenge themselves, or they're scared of losing their O. And nobody cares about your O fighters as long as you challenge yourself and you go out there and fight the best opponent you can possibly face. If you lose, we're going to respect you as long as you fight hard. You're not going to lose any respect or admiration from your boxing. You're not going to lose any boxing fans. If anything, you're going to gain more fans because you challenge yourself. That's what I like about Sean Porter. Sean Porter will fight anybody. Sean Porter will fight Anthony Joshua if you give him the chance. You know, Sean's trying to get in the ring now with Terrence Crawford, but Crawford's not interested. I don't get it. That'd be a great fight. I'd love to see that fight because Sean makes you come to fight.
Yeah, Sean. Did you hear Jamal Charlo and the David Benavidez banter? Did you hear that?
More talk, more yapping. That's all it is. That'd be another good fight. I love that. I love David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez could possibly beat Canelo, but Benavidez is the real deal, man. You know, and at 168, I think I'll pick him over Charlo, and I like the Charlo boys. But I'd pick Benavidez to fight to win that fight because he's busier and he punches harder.
Punches hard.
But once again, all talk. If you're talking all that trash, why not? Okay, get it done in the ring because that's a fight everybody would pay to see. That would be a good fight.
It would be a great fight. He said that. He said he had to take, and I was very critical of the Charlos, and they're probably mad at me right now. But he said that he has to pass a COVID test. He has to get vaccinated for them to fight.
Oh, come on. That's what they have COVID tests for before leading up to the fights. You know, they get tested weekly. So see, there you go. That proves you right there. You don't want to fight him. That's all that is. That's a way to get out of the fight. I'm disappointed hearing that from Jamal because Jamal and Jamel talk more trash than just about anyone out there. How good they are. Lions only. That don't sound like Lions only to me. That sounds like Lion. Lyin. Lion only.
Oh, Mike, man.
I hope them Charlo boys don't come looking for me because I'm running. I'm gonna run. But come on. But yeah, that why not fight David Benavidez? He doesn't have a fight. You don't have a fight, Charlo. Who wouldn't want to see that?
It's a big fight, and throw it in Texas because that's the only where we can have fans.
Exactly.
And we need something to clamor over. That's why David Benavidez was on the show maybe a month ago. Him and his dad. First, Charlo said he's not fighting a guy under 25. Then he said he got to get vaccinated. And then he said he had to catch weight. David Benavidez agreed to everything. I'll catch weight. He said, "What's next thing you gonna need? A GED?" He agreed to everything.
There you go. And you know, outside, okay. Here's the fights I want to see in order. Joshua Fury, gotta have that one. That's my number one choice. Second choice is Crawford Spence. That's my number 2 fight I want to see. You know what the third fight I want to see? Benavidez, Charlo. I want to see all these fights. Oh yeah, Teo and any one of the lightweights. That's one of my top 4. But you know what? My 5th fight I really want to see, and they should try to make, and Canelo should try to make it, just like Floyd made it with him when he was young and raw. Wouldn't you love to see Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga?
That's an interesting fight. That's an interesting
Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Canelo, because Berlanga's on the way up, and he's the same weight class as Canelo. Why not? Why wouldn't Canelo get him while he's young and raw? You know, as opposed to waiting a year or 2 or 3. Why not try test him now? Get him when he's inexperienced. Because, you know, Berlanga's knocked out 16 straight opponents in the first round. Man, even though people say, well, he's not ready yet. Well, now that's why Canelo should call him out and say, let's fight now. That's what Floyd did with Canelo. He knew Canelo was on the way up, and I better get him now because I won't be able to get him in a few years, right? So that was a smart move by Floyd. So why shouldn't Canelo do that now with Berlanga?
Right.
That's how you got to think, man. And Canelo can make $100 million for that fight because we'd all tune in for it.
Man, same weight class too.
Same weight class, easy to make.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're Berlanga, you're 16-0. Why wouldn't you take that fight? You probably could make $25 million, even if you lose. Who knows? He probably could win. Hard as that boy can punch, he might catch Canelo.
I catch him
because when I watch Canelo fight, he don't remind me of Marvin Hagler. Canelo can be beat. You know, Canelo's kind of methodical and he's technical. He's good. But people talk about Canelo, but I don't think he's in the Marvin Hagler class. So I think a guy like Canelo can get beat or can get caught by a young, hungry fighter like Berlanga.
I never thought about that fight. I always thought,
Berlanga's right there. Berlanga's talking about he's a year away, year and a half away. Why wait? Do it now. If anything, it'll be a good learning experience for you, Berlanga, and you'll get $25 to $30 million. Yeah, I should have been a boxing promoter. I could have been better than Don King.
Oh, you definitely would have been better than Don King. I had his fighters on last week. They were sitting here. I had Chris Bird and Fred Zakendo on last week together, and they were just in shambles. When you mentioned Don King, they just, you know, I mean, it just.
Yeah, we all know about Don King's reputation. I don't know how, because King wasn't born a rich man. He had to work his way up from the ghetto, from the slums. And we all know the reputation, the rumors about King and what fighters have said about him. How could you sleep at night knowing you ripped off fighters from their money? I don't get that. You know, why not look out for those guys to make sure that when they finish fighting, they're pretty nicely set up? You know, how do you know that you stole from these fighters' purses or mismanaged them to take money from them? I don't get that at all. How do you not respect a young man, another human being, disrespect a human being that way to steal from him?
Right.
It's just disappointing to hear that about how Don King didn't. That's why Mike Tyson had to leave him. Even Tyson said he was ripping him off. That's just sad. You would think black people would be looking out for each other in that situation, but no, he's stealing from them. Right. Disappointing.
DB.
Yeah, he was cooking on boxing so much. I was sitting back listening and enjoying this.
I could talk. I'd rather talk boxing than basketball. Are you kidding
me? Man, you got to come back. I have a really big boxing platform. Coach.
Yeah, man. I hope all the boxing fans are as frustrated as I am. We are. I know COVID's happening, but you could put these fights on just with pay-per-view. Even though fans won't be in the stands, they can make up for lack of fans because people would buy those fights, the fights that we're talking about.
Absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. And
we got to get you back in here with Kendall Gill. Kendall Gill.
Kendall Gill was my boy.
Kendall Gill, my
guy. When I worked for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kendall was on the team. So we sit in the back of the plane and talk boxing all day. Love Kendall Gill.
Kendall's my guy.
Yeah, I should tell him. I would tell Kendall just like I tell Max Kellerman, you almost know as much boxing as me. Yeah. Kendall was good. Yeah, Kendall knows his boxing, boy.
Yeah, Kendall's a great asset to this platform, man. And man, it's an hour already, man.
Yeah. If I was a fighter, you know what my nickname would be? Bahamas Ali, if I was a fighter. That's right. Bahamas Ali, baby.
He's gonna ask you about Kobe.